Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 TV. We are here in Belgium around the famous circuit of Spa. Odems is joining me for commentary. He's just joining back into the session. But we have got 18 drivers tonight for the third race Podium tier, guys. So well done to them. 18 of them about to take to the track, the legendary circuit of Spa. And I'm pretty excited about this one. Can't see the weather, but doesn't look like there's any clouds in the sky at the moment as we wait for the drivers to head to the track. Odems, how are you tonight?
I'm very fine, thank you. Thankfully, Bookster gave us an update in the chat. He said that there will be no rain in any of the sessions.
Well, there you go. That's what a little star he is emerging on and off track at the moment. So, cheers, Bookster, for that one. Welcome if you're just joining us. We are here for round 12 in season 10, and these 7 PM podium tier guys are all going to be taken to the track for the 12th time this season. We don't have any new drivers this week in the podium tier. Ali joined last week, so we've got no new faces to introduce for tonight's race. But Odems, lots of faces who are going to be challenging for some good results here tonight.
Yeah, lots of faces from last season as well. Lemine, I believe, finished 4th here, which is a very strong performance from him in a tier with people like, you know, Leo Blade, Cliffy. So yeah, Alex, we'd expect him to impress after his performance in last season's race around here. You've also got his two championship rivals, Kian and Techno Thriller, who's reporting that his controller is unfortunately broken, so it turned to the left violently at times, so we have to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, a lot of potential on this grid, and we all know that the podium drivers that we're definitely going to excite.
Yeah, they have done every week so far, Odems. You have to say they haven't let us down or disappointed us so far this season, but we've got quite a few drivers out on some laps right now. It's getting pretty busy out there. Thankfully, it's a long track in terms of kilometers and in terms of lap time, but drivers only have 12 minutes left. 12 minutes, obviously, in the short qualifying session, which is a big ask to get more than 3 laps in, I suspect.
It is. I believe it used to be 11 minutes, or did it get changed to 12?
No, short qualifying's always been 12 minutes, as far as I'm aware.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, 12 minutes around this very long amount of this track. It is a tough ask, but it's good to get that one run out of the way. It sets you up for a late session showdown with the other drivers. It takes so long to get around the track.
It does indeed, and we've got a few drivers on some different compounds. A lot of them heading out into the ultra soft tires, as you'd expect. But you've got Dweller and Bookster and Kev all on the supers, as well as Emphatix. So both Force India's choosing to go out on the super soft tire, and then you've got Lemaine who's on the soft tire. So our championship leader perhaps going to do something a little bit different here.
Yeah, he's known to occasionally going onto a different compound at times. So is Techno Thriller.
Look, he's gone off.
The best compound to start on are the super softs, so you can get to that one-stop window much more consistently and be a lot safer, because when the tires go off around here, they go off big time.
Yeah, with some proper high-speed corners around this track, I imagine everyone's going to want not to be on any worn tyres, as Emphatix sets the fastest lap so far. He's the first driver to cross the line and set a time on those super softs. What can his teammate do, Adams? Pole position, 2 wins from the last 2 races, as Olsers get a little bit out of shape and just saves it from the barrier. What disappoints me, Odom, a little bit about this track is the lack of gravel. They've taken it away everywhere.
They have. I guess that is for the safety of the drivers. You know, you don't want people beaching it. You don't want their front wheels into the gravel and subsequently flipping. So Yeah, a lot of runoff, a lot more forgiving this track is. Also, when the books gave us that update for rain in the session, I actually read him. Um, I read it improperly. It turns out there's going to be rain about 10-20 minutes into the race.
Yeah, just getting confirmation of that on the stream, Odins, from Jonas in the McLaren. He's just confirmed that there'll be rain 10 to 20 minutes into the race. So thanks for the update, guys. Odems is going to head off to Specsavers and get some glasses. But Spider Atlas, the sole Renault driver tonight, he is just about to cross the line, pops himself into 5th place. His teammates on holiday skiing, so have fun, Stifler, in the snow. We will see you back in a couple of weeks. Kian returning now from his holiday. He missed last week. He needs to get his championship hopes back intact, because after the last few disconnections and his absence last week, you have to say they're not hanging by a thread, but he's going to need to show some pace today.
Yeah, and pace is what he's got in his locker for sure. We had a practice race yesterday, and he actually out-qualified me. It was a very good lap. I think it was a 43.8, I want to say. And that would, I imagine, easily get him pole. Now, instead of 44.7, that's just a banker lap for him. But yeah, he's definitely got pace in abundance. And I would have him earmarked as a potential winner for today's race.
Well, there you have it. Odems has picked Kian for a potential winner. He picked the Budster a couple of races ago, and he got that right. So under halfway through the session, yeah, Dweller last week as well in Hungary, didn't you? So yeah, that was for pole position. Oh, in Austria. Okay, didn't you pick Dweller for pole position last week though?
I did, yeah. I'm basically just a guru. You're
a guru. So what you hear from Odems is definitely not always true. So under halfway of the session, the Bookster currently holds pole position by under a tenth of a second. Kev is in third, just behind his teammate Kian. So the two Williams drivers right up there at the top. Dweller continuing off from last week under half a second from pole position. Then we've got a bit of a jump. Spider Atlas in 5th, a second off. One of his rivals, Emphatic, 1.1 off. Razor in 7th. Lemaine on the soft tyre in 8th position. So if he was to go out on some quicker tyres, you'd have to say there's plenty of pace to come in that lap. Jamie currently in 9th. Ali's popped himself into 10th position. Greenfin is in 11th. Maverick is in 12th. Lukey's in 13th. And then we've got 14th to 18th yet to set a time. That is Gaza, Matt Your Daddy, Ols, Jonas and Techno Thriller. So will they be able to set a quick time? We'll switch over to Techno Thriller as well and see what the championship contender can pull out the bag here with under 4 minutes to go now.
This corner is very tricky, especially on the pad. That section there, you kind of want to take it a bit wide, but that curve can just suck you in. And then you have to have not a very violent direction change, but it can easily catch you out. And especially on worn tires, that corner is an absolute nightmare. Your corner has to be perfect, but he seems to have navigated his way around there perfectly. And then you have I think this is a 2,000 meter run to the next corner, one of the longest in the F1 calendar, and he opts to pit. So that was very anticlimactic.
So yeah, he's obviously given up on those tyres. He's going to be able to get in and get back out again. We're waiting for a lot of these drivers to come out who are in the pits to start their final flying lap. 3 minutes left of the session now. You have to say, Adams, there's going to be a lot of position changes in these final few minutes, probably more so than we've seen in recent races, because it's going to take them a good 2 minutes to get out the pit lane. So they're going to need to get out pretty soon.
Lukey was on a lap and out of Lake Combs. I don't know the corner name. Sorry. He lost the back end, almost smashed into the barrier, almost, and just about managed to keep it. We've seen that the Ferrari drivers, they're both very back end happy, but they're both very prone to a crash. I think by far their team has the most nets amongst them. So
yeah, and that isn't through do not starts as well, Adams. That's through turning up and just binning it. And they tend to bin it at the same place as well. They've done that a few times this season. Monaco and Hungary, they both binned it at the same place on the track, which is a little bit strange. But Lukey backing off now. perhaps he's on low fuel mode. So 8th position, 1.3 off the current pole position time.
Has had a spin, a Pluhan.
Spin and a front wing loss. He just set a personal best in sector 2, and that is all gone now. Gaza will finish there with that lap time. But Odems, look at all these drivers on outlaps now. We're going to be in for a treat here.
It's all a bit of chop and change, as I think the books are... sorry. Always comes across the line. He only takes 12. I think he might have another lap. Jonas comes across the line 13th.
Lemaine's gone on to the super soft, so he's only gone one compound quicker. He hasn't gone for the quickest tyre of them all. Our championship leader, of course, constantly putting in those consistent results. He hasn't had a win since the early part of the season, Odems. Could tonight be the night he fights back and gets the full 25 points? Bookster Key, and I'm sure we'll have something to say about that.
Yeah, they will. The Bookster says lap on super softs. I imagine if he's not happy with this lap on the ultra softs, he'll just back out of it, because starting with the super softs is not a bad idea at all, especially since his lap is so good. And she's first after all. Mario Daddy got up into third place too.
Yeah, under 2 tenths off, and we've got every single driver now on a flying lap. We know that Gaz and Luki won't be able to set a time, so Gaz is coming to the pits now. Not sure whether Luki will follow him in. Luki's going off track, he's in low fuel mode, but everyone else is on a quick lap. We've got Emphatix following quite closely. Spider Atlas, they're 7th and 8th, and they're quite close on track. Is the Force India driver planning to pick up a little bit of slipstream here, Odems? We've seen it in the past here at F1 TS Hub.
Yep. We've seen it in Season 8 where Michelangelo got slipstream off of FaZe Kiwis, who wasn't even his teammate, he was my teammate. So, yeah, some tactics, underhanded maybe, some might say, coming from Emphatix. As the Bookster is coming through Blanchimont now, he's on a very good lap. I've been on board with it. It's looked nice and tidy. Heavy braking, 100-meter board. Hit the apexes nicely. It looks like he's going to complete the lap.
Just to point out as well, Dweller, one of his competition Odems, is stuck behind Kev. Kev half spins it in the wall. Kev's going into the wall. Kev's out of the session.
Kian takes pole position.
It's all happening here. They've got such a margin at the front. Dweller was tucked up behind Kev for the entire lap into the braking zone at the end of the long straight. Odems, he was tucked right in, so that didn't help him. He caught the Williams driver too soon. What can the Sauber driver do? His teammate is out of the session. He's retired without setting a lap time. So Lemaine has jumped up to 6th position on those super soft tyre. We've still got a few drivers to cross the line, but we don't think anyone... Dweller's binned it! Dweller's lost it! He's lost it on the outside curb. Outside curb.
I think he might have done that one on purpose. I was on board with him, and I think maybe being stuck behind Kev ruined his lap, and he's decided that he's not going to get anything out of this, and he just sent it into the wall.
I hope that isn't the case, but he's definitely ended his session early, as the Mercedes follows closely behind another car now. That is the session over, so Kian strikes back. He's back, and he's on holiday.
It's such a huge gap in the top two half of the rest of the field. 7 tenths.
And look at Emphatic Odems, 3rd position for the other Force India.
Yeah.
Fantastic result for him. Him and Razor both jumped up at the end ahead of Matt, your daddy, who in turn had done a good lap to put himself up there into 3rd. So 3rd position, chopping and changing right the way through. I was occupied by Dweller, you were occupied by Kian on the Bugster, and it was perhaps some of the drivers who put in a good performance like Razart. Kev's down in 6th as well, so he wasn't able to improve after binning it.
That's what happens when every driver is out on track. You just don't know who to follow. There's too many chances. I believe we're just on board with Greenfin right now. He's already finished his lap, but the game gives you the opportunity of driving yourself back to the pits. He chose to do that instead of retire, so that's why I like it. But there's your qualification order.
Fantastic stuff. Hello again to everyone watching. We'll quickly run through this one. Podium tiers, 7 PM. Here are the qualifying results for round 12. Kian strikes back. As we said, he was on holiday last week. He's back with a bang. He takes pole position. The Bookster, he is in second place. His teammates in third. That's the best qualifying position Emphatix has managed. Fourth is Razor. Fifth, Matt Your Daddy. Sixth for Kev, 7th Spider, 8th Dweller, 9th Lemaine, 10th Lukey, 11th Gaza, 12th Jamie, Ols is 13th, 14th Jonas, 15th Ali, Maverick 16th, Greenfin 17th, and you've got Techno Thriller in 18th place. So we're looking ahead for an exciting race here. 22 laps round Spa. These drivers need to get their heads around this. They got wet weather coming from what we hear, so it ain't going to be plain sailing. We're seeing a few cars pile up. I don't know if you guys can see it in the left hand side of your screen. That is just a glitch. That isn't happening as we wait for these drivers. They're all going to be picking their strategy now, choosing what fuel loads to run, what tire to pick at their first stop, whether they'll be making 1 or 2 stops. Has the rain played into effect in what tyre they start on? We're all about to find out, Odems. 18 seconds until this race gets underway. Of course, we do have a formation lap, but that'll give us a chance to run through who's starting on what tyre and exactly who is where.
Yeah, I think with the rain, the ultra soft runners may have a bit of an advantage. They would usually have to go to lap 5 or 6. Now they can happily go to lap 3 or 4. Get the undercut on other drivers and just take their tires to the rain period. I would imagine early stops for soft tires are
So let's quickly run through, Odems. We have the top 5 on the Ultra Soft tyre. We've got Kev on the Supers, Spider Atlas on the Ultra, Dweller and Lemaine on the Super Soft tyre, Lukey's on the Ultras, then you've got Gaza, Jamie starting on Softs, Ols and Jonas starting on Supers, and the bottom 3 starting on Softs. Techno Thriller doesn't appear to be in the lobby, so he's left and he hasn't returned, and so the game hasn't allocated him a position on the grid. He was 18th place, Odems, so I don't think Techno Thriller will be, and it's already raining here. I can already see the rain coming down overhead, so as you said, Odems, these ultra soft runners, surely they're going to have an advantage here.
Yeah, they got the best out of their tires in qualifying.
So you can definitely see it now. Everyone watching can definitely see the rain. If you're a driver driving on your outlap through this, what's going to be going through your head, Odems?
Oof, being first here is not as ideal as usual, because you're kind of the ringleader. You're kind of the person who gets the braking spots first. Being behind the leader is almost perfect, so that's where the Bookster is. He can just sort of follow Kian's braking points. He can see his lines and where he's going slow and where he's not. But what you really want to do is just settle into the race. No, I would not want to go for anything, anything too gung-ho, especially with rain coming.
Yeah, definitely. Kian is lining up on the grid now. So the Bookster sporting a special helmet. He's labelled this as his home race, and he's got a Max Verstappen style helmet with a bit of Force India in there as well. So looking very smart indeed, and he'll be looking forward to that first corner, and hopefully he'll be looking forward to exiting it, I should say, as the first driver.
Long run up Eau Rouge. So
on heavy fuel though, Odems, in these conditions it ain't going to be straightforward like they were all saying in their interviews this week. Here we go, the 5 lights are on and they are away in Spa, round 12. It looks to be a pretty clean start from everyone. Kian does get a decent start away. The Force India driver is battling with the Ferrari. The Saub is trying to get down the inside, but he has slight contact, I think, with the Mercedes. Kian's under attack already now.
Yep, I'm suffering from a glitch. I can't actually see Kian on my screen.
Kian's out.
Oh, no,
Kian's out of the session.
Oh, it's chaos.
Kian is out of the session. That was with Boogster. They tried to go side by side round Eau Rouge. The Boogster's now dropped down all the way to 14th place. So he's
out as well.
He's had an incident. Matt, your daddy's out. Gaza is out of the session. I don't know what's happened there, but everyone watching, this has been an absolute chaotic start. Emphatic leads from Kev. Razor's in third. Dweller's in fourth. Odems, they went side by side round Eau Rouge. It was never going to work. What were they thinking?
Yeah, so when I joined the lobby back again, I had a glitch that I couldn't actually see Kane's car. So I did notice that the Bookster was taking an odd line through, so I assumed they were going side by side. It obviously did not work in the slightest. So I was thinking it was going to be awkward having to commentate over Kian even though I can't see him. So thankfully the Bookster's taking care of that for me. Emphasis will also be thanking his teammate because now he's inherited the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix.
14 drivers left in the session. I know who isn't going to be happy. Kian, Gaza, Matt, your daddy, they're out of this race, not even completing a sector. So everyone except the Bookster has moved up a position. The Bookster, I just don't know what he was thinking. Is Razor's retired? Razor was in third place. He's binned it. Absolutely binned it, Odems.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. I think that's out of Blanchimont. He probably just went a bit wide. And the grip off track is just non-existent. Zamaya Daddy's in the chat lamenting his poor luck. We have 3 people in the pits. Lamine is one of them, so he's all the way down in 11th place. Dweller's one of them too.
Oh, Epitex is off. Kev hits him. Kev hit him. He's lost. He's got wing damage. 5-second stop and go penalty for Ali speeding in the pit lane. So that hasn't worked for him. You've got yellow flags in sector 1, and it's all happening here at Spa. It's absolute chaos. The rain has caused an absolute nightmare for some of these drivers. Absolute entertainment for the rest of us, but there's going to be some broken hearts after tonight's race.
Yeah, and broken wings in Kev's case because Emphatix benefited from that hugely. He made the mistake. He's the one that went wide, and Kev's the one that suffered from it. But going wide again is Emphatix, and Kev inherits the lead. Emphatix is struggling.
We just saw Maverick get past Matt your daddy there. Matt your daddy's struggling on those soft tires as well. So Dweller, Lemaine, Jonas and Ali all switching over to the Inters on the first lap of this race, so that you couldn't ride it any better. This is fantastic stuff. The rain's coming down. Let's have a quick look. These drivers, I definitely believe they're catching the guys who haven't pitted yet. They look to have more grip on those intermediate tires. As Maverick spun it, Maverick's out the race. The other Red Bull, he's the latest victim. He's got on the what is happening with these curbs, Odem? Are they just slingshotting drivers into the wall like it's just a Saturday afternoon at the golf course or something?
Yep, Spider Autos has got past Infamix as well. These curbs, the best of conditions in Spa, are not good. They're hard to deal with. So in the wet, that just becomes a huge thing. We've had about 3 lead changes in the opening 2 laps. Who knows? I think Dweller might even inherit the lead when Kev pits.
Look at them, they're struggling to get into the pit lane. They can't get the car slowed down. Lukey carries on for another lap. He's decided that it isn't time to pit for intermediate tyres. So he's going to go on and inherit the lead of this race. I'm not sure that's the right decision, Odems. Dweller is now coming on the pit straight. So is Lemaine. Everyone else is diving into the pits. Anyone who hasn't set a lap time is, anyone who hasn't come in is surely going to struggle this time around.
Yeah, and Dweller got Kev, so did Lemaine. So Dweller, as we said again,
he's going to lead this race.
Dweller has taken the lead.
Yeah, when Lukey comes in, it's only a 7-second gap, and that is going to be. It's going to be Greenfin now up. He moved up a position there in the pits. He just got ahead of the Boogster. So the Boogster caused all that a little bit at the first quarter. He can't get away from the fact that that maneuver I don't feel was ever on. We've seen the steward said don't go side by side through a Rouge. It only takes them about 15 seconds before they hold 2 fingers up and say I'm doing it anyway. But Lukey's lost the lead already on this lap. And he's really struggling. He should have come into the pits. His team were probably expecting him in. Matt, your daddy's out the race. He didn't need to worry about stacking. And the Mercedes driver of Lemaine. How does Lemaine always qualify lower end of the top 10 nowadays, and somehow always end up in the podium positions? It's just. Jonas closing in on Kev now. That's the closest battle we have out on track. We've also got Alls over Ali. So Adams has left the session. He's got some connection issues, but I'll carry it solo for now. And Jonas slings it down the inside, gives Kev a little bit of a squeeze, and then Kev gives him a little bit of a squeeze as he is the inside for the next corner. Just to come to join the party is Emphatic. Emphatic's going to try and go around the outside. No, does the cut back. Excuse me. The Force India driver has a look down the inside of Jonas, thinks better of it. These curbs are so dangerous. These guys need to be careful not to get too many wheels over the white lines, because it's just proving that it's just unsettling the back end so much. Our front row starter, Bookster, currently down in 9th position, just behind Jamie. He's under a 10th of a second. Remember, guys, there'll be no DRS because of the wet weather conditions. So Ali, he is defending currently from Ols for 11th place. We only have 12 drivers left in this session. Here comes Ols. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Oh, he's on the grass. Ols is on the grass. Can he keep it together? He does. He wants to continue his finishing streak. That's what he said before tonight's race. So these conditions are really going to test the Haas driver as Ali goes a little bit deep, and this battle is going to continue for another lap. Lukey comes in. He's dropped him all the way down to 9th from not pitting that lap, and we can see that everyone now is on the intermediate tyres. Lukey comes out just ahead of Greenfin, Ali, and Alls. Odems, welcome back.
Hi, yeah, my internet is acting up again. I'm not in the session yet. I need a new invite. But I wish I was, because look, the most chaotic race ever. I mean, we've had the Bookster and Kian 1 and 2 taking each other out. You've had Emphatic's taking Kev's front wing off. You've had Dweller inheriting the lead. You've had about what, 5 retirements already? It's too much stuff is happening in these opening laps.
Yeah, it's been absolutely chaos here in Belgium, but we'd expect nothing less at F1 TS. How we like to give you guys something to do, something to watch on your Friday night. So here we are. 12 drivers left in the session. We're seeing Emphatic going. He's still battling with Kev, but he's off the track now. This reminds me of I think it was Belgium 2008 with Hamilton and Raikkonen, where they just couldn't keep their cars on the track. And has Kev fixed that front wing? Yeah, Kev's fixed that front wing in the pits. Jonas is up to 4th position, Odems. We've got a few drivers here which are absolutely outperforming their usual position, but when you have so many retirements like this, it's such a good opportunity for them to show exactly what they can do, given you know a good package and an opportunity to do something a little bit special.
It shows the importance of just being able to keep the car on the track. You see MLA, he's not the quickest of drivers, but he's just so consistent. He keeps the car on the track, and that's how he's in a title fight right now. That's why Jonas is up in 4th place.
Speaking of keeping a car on the track, we've got our next retirement, the other Ferrari of Lukey, in 12th position. He is out of this race. Same thing, Odems. He's caught it too much on the curb, sent it to the inside wall, and yeah, left tire. See you later. Be back next week. Emphatic is in the pits as well, so we can only presume that he's had damage. Surely he wouldn't pit this early. He's got the set of intermediates back on, so he was leading this race. He's now in last position as Odems rejoins. I'm not sure, but I think Lukey, as we've got a battle now, 3-way battle, the 2 Haas drivers and the Mercedes of Ali going up Eau Rouge, all trying to keep it just on track. It looks like it's proving so tricky out there. The drivers were asked this week, Eau Rouge, is it the #1 boss corner in F1? Most of them said no. I think they'll all change their mind after today's race.
I think the spirit of Eau Rouge heard them, gained sentience, and is now punishing them. We've had about 2 retirements up there already. Yeah, in the wet, it becomes an absolute menace. I can agree with them that in the dry, when it's flat out, it's not as hard, but in the wet, it becomes crazy, as Lemine is right down the inside of Dweller. Yeah,
this is fantastic stuff. This is for the lead of the race. They ain't going to give it up easy, but No, in the main, he doesn't need to risk anything, Odems. He's just got to, as we're seeing, who's that? Is that Force India on the side of the track there? No, I think that was just
I think so, yeah.
No, that's Lukey's car. Lukey's car still hasn't been removed, so that's why we've got yellow flags still in Sector 3 for that section of the track. I'm not sure, Odems, but I wouldn't put a bet on it, but I think Matt Your Daddy crashed at the same place. I think they both crashed.
Up Eau Rouge.
Did Matt Your Daddy crash up Eau Rouge?
Yeah, he got caught up in the Buckster and Keane's incident.
Okay, so wishful thinking just to have a bit of a stat attack, but no, the Ferraris have chosen different parts, different sectors of the track to crash in today's race. They add another 2 DNFs to their tally. We're going to have to start tallying those up. They've had so many this season. Odems disappears again. See you soon. I'll carry this on with the race leaders. They are separated by 0.6 of a second. We've got Kev in the pits now, so the Williams driver is dropping down the order. He's coming into the pits. That moves Ols up a position. No, they're battling as they come out the pits, are they? Kev's come out behind. So Emphatix has got ahead of Ali, and he's got Greenfin now in his sights. So he'll be defending at the end of this straight, I imagine. And yeah, it's so tricky. They're having to lift off so much through there, but the Force India has a good run. Here we go down the Camel Straight. What's going to happen now into turn 4, I believe. We've seen a few passes here in recent history, and a bit of front wing flies off. Not too sure what Emphatic was actually doing there. He just seemed to want to take the same line as Greenfin and tuck in underneath, but more front wing damage from another car at the end of the Camel Straight. Odems. This is, as Ali sneaks it down the inside, but can't get the car slowed down. Is he still there on the outside? We can just see his front wing. Is he gonna hang it in? And he does on the inside, but can't get enough traction. It's fantastic stuff, Odems. We just don't have anything to not say.
No, we do not. And as you were commentating on that, I was watching Dweller make a mistake through Blanchemont. He ran wide, and now Lemine's gonna have another chance to be all over him. This race is hectic. Jonas is up into 3rd place, just literally from not doing anything. That's how crazy this race is. Dweller moves wide. Now Lemine's definitely got him. I don't think Lemine got the memo. He's not going to try anything around the outside. But a word of note, Lemine, his 2 championship rivals, just like Hungary, are out of the race. And he is in 2nd place. He has a possible chance to win it. But he might just be thinking to himself, I mean, I don't have to do anything right now.
Kev's out of this race. Where's he binned it? Same corner, Odems, except he's left his car in the middle of the track. Surely that's going to be a safety car. How many crashes can we have and not bring out the safety car? It's absolutely ridiculous by Codemasters, in my opinion. But here we are. Another driver, the 2nd Williams, out of this race. We've only got 10 drivers left, so boys, finish the race and you'll get some points. That is the memo. Yeah. All over for Kev, and really that moves Jonas. Jonas is in 3rd. That moves the Bookster back up into top 5 position. Kev's out of here. He's not sticking around to view this one.
Oof. Dweller went wide and Puhan. Lemine had to brake. That's how close he was. Lemine literally had to put his foot on the brake just to almost stop the car, because Dweller was going to come right into his path. So very careful driving from Lemine so far.
Very clever driving as well, Odems, it has to be said. He's driving with, you know, 1 foot on the wheel, 1 foot on the pedal, 1 hand on the wheel, 1 eye on the championship, because it seems like Dweller goes wide in a lot of corners, but enables him to get a decent exit. Odems, is that a tactic perhaps he's taken at, for instance, turn 1, as he goes wide there? He needs to be careful. We've seen enough drivers lose their front wing. It'll be a tyre derby down there in a little while if this carries on. But 10 drivers left in the session. Odems, here we head into this is lap 8 now. I can't believe we're only on lap 8 out of 22. We've had so much excitement having to write this up in the press room next week. And yeah, it's going to take you a good couple days, I imagine.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to book Jono for a commentary in the Italian Grand Prix. As Dweller goes wide again, Lemine surely has the run on him. A little bit of lag involved. Lemine's going to want to be careful. Dweller covers the inside. Lemine doesn't want that slipstream of a laggy car. Will he try around the outside? Will he employ some late braking? He does. Dweller keeps the position.
Yeah, Dweller driving exactly as he needs to drive to keep the full 25 points at the moment. Odense, we expect to see these drivers have to pit again. They won't be able to take these inters all the way through, and it looks to me like the rain's actually getting a little bit heavier as I'm riding on board with Dweller. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I imagine it's pretty tricky out there, whatever the weather condition. And look at Lemaine, he's swerving all over the back of the Sauber. He wants past, but he knows he's got to be careful and pick his moment. Jonas up to third position, a career high for him if he was to finish there. Spider Atlas is in fourth. Bookster recovered up to fifth now. If he's got the same pace that he did in the dry Odems, surely he's going to be attacking the boys in front of him.
Yeah, but he's got a huge gap to make up after Spider Altis. If he does make that up, I'll be very impressed. Who knows? These two could get at the front could get tangled up if Dwellers continues going wide every single corner. Yeah, a lot of people here have a chance to score some really, really good points. Alls is open 7. Ali might get his first points of the season if he just keeps it there, and I pray he keeps it there.
He's actually within no DRS, but he's pretty close to Green Finn, 4/10 of a second. They've been like this throughout the race actually on him since they've settled in after the stops, and I think it's more a case of they both just keep making slight mistakes, which pull each other back into the path of one another.
But right now.
Yeah, so look at that, 11 to 17 out of this race. We've got Kian, Matt Your Daddy, Gaza, Razor, Maverick, Lukey, Kev all retired from this race. Techno Thriller never made it onto the grid. Odems, look at the gap now, 0.3 of a second as we head at the upper part of Eau Rouge. Here we go down Kemmel Straight for the 9th time in today's podium tier race. Take it away, Odems.
Yeah, Dweller went wide at the first corner again, and it didn't gain him a good run because Lomine just caught right up. So I would imagine he's not doing any of this by design. I think he's just desperately trying to keep this on the track, while Lomine is just watching him, waiting for him to make a mistake. If we continue like this for 13 more laps, I'll be thoroughly impressed because it's just looking so dicey as Alls pits.
Alls is pit. What's Alls going to put on? Is he going to be the first driver to perhaps come in and fit the full wet tyres? Let's have a quick look. Looks like he's got inters, yeah, so going for a new set of inters, presumably to take him to the end of the race. Both Hasses look like they're going to score points if they keep it on track. As here we go, Ali and Green Finn are going side by side again as we head up to Eau Rouge. They have a little tyre bang, little sweet kiss on a Friday night. Here we go, please don't go side by side. Someone's going to have to give it up. Ali gives it up, and not in the most favourable fashion for himself either.
Yeah, and now Alls is going to have him. So that's going to give Alls the 9th place back. The Bookster is tucked up right. I don't know what to watch right now. The Bookster is right behind Spider Altis, and Lomine is still right behind Dweller.
I'm going to keep an eye on Bookster because Lemaine's going to pick his move at the right moment. We know the Bookster will have a bit of fire in his belly after starting on the front row and being down in 5th position. His home race, of course, for today is what he's labelled it. So he's Odems, do you imagine to see that in the steward's office? Obviously you didn't see it, but if you try and go side by side around Eau Rouge, especially when it's got a little bit of rain with dry tyres, it's never going to end well.
No, it isn't. Anytime you just think in your head that, oh, maybe I can give enough space here, or I trust the other driver to go 2 up Eau Rouge, it just does not end well. It's such a hard corner to get so perfect like that, especially when I think it was wet at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just starting to rain. The track maybe was just a little bit greasy, and you've got heavy fuel. You know, it's the first time that a lot of these drivers have been on heavy fuel today, whether they've done some practice or not. But you know, it is difficult to know exactly how the car is going to behave with a little bit of a wet track. It definitely looks like there's a lot more spray now as we see the Bookster sizing up Spider Atlas for 4th position. Is he going to try here at the end of Kemmel Straight? No, he thinks better of it. Lemaine, meanwhile, 0.2 of a second. Is he going to have a go somewhere in this middle section of the track? Not the best place to overtake, but Dweller struggling to get his car turned in. It looks like he's missing. It looks like he's got some major understeer in that Sauber.
I would say, oh no, lag from Dweller. He goes right into the front of Lomine, and that takes a bit of his front wing off. That's so unfortunate. we're looking at a race-long battle here, but it's been ruined by lag once again.
Yeah, that's going to affect Lemaine's car.
Car is terrible.
Surely he needs to come in now, pit, and get a new set of inters and perhaps get the undercut Odems, and it wouldn't lose him too much time. Because the undercut, I imagine, around here would be worth a lot. Bookster, yeah, that's correct. He goes through into 4th position. I mentioned Jamie, he's currently in 6th. What's Lemaine going to do? Is Lemaine going to dive into the pits? Yeah, he does exactly that. He must have heard me. What tyres is he going to fit on? Is he feeling the intermediates are the right choice? He's going to be careful here. We know Lemaine always is. His pit box is just there. It looks like another set of inters. Oh no, it's full wets. He's gone full wets.
Oh, interesting.
Jonas comes in as well. What's Jonas going to put on? It looks like he doesn't hold Lemaine up. What is Jonas going to put on? Looks to be another set of inters on our graphics.
Yeah.
So Lemaine choosing a different compound to as we're seeing some tires just stand up on their own in the distance there. That will be for the Spider Atlas, I suspect.
The Boxer takes wets.
Books just put wet tires on. It looks. I think he had a penalty. They didn't work on his car for a minute. Not a minute, but a few seconds there. Spider Atlas is put on the full wets as well. So Spider Atlas jumped the Bookster in the pits.
Jamie comes in, puts on the full wets as well. I wonder if it's time for that, because Jonas put on the inters. I know that in this game that the inters are very OP around here, that they sometimes work in full wet conditions. So who knows?
Keep an eye on the gap, Odems. It's 2.1 second. Lemaine did fix his right wing. 2.2 seconds the gap Jonas is behind Lemaine. So if that starts to decrease, then we know perhaps either Lemaine's struggling to get tire temp up in those full wets, or
I think it is decreasing.
Yeah, I think these intermediate tires are actually still the tire to be on. So whether Lemaine can reel in Dweller or whether Dweller can extend his gap, it's 25 seconds now. He's chopping and changing corner by corner. Doesn't seem to be much in it, but Jonas is definitely catching the championship leader.
You know what? I think that Lemaine might be catching Dweller just simply because Lemaine has fresher tires. Notice Jonas might be catching Lemaine because Jonas has the better tire compound as Dweller pits. So he's
Dweller gonna fit? This is the key thing. He's seen some of his rivals fit. Yeah, looks to me like intermediates are out there. We've got Lemaine's binned it. Lemaine's retired from the race. Our championship leader has binned it. The same corner where we've seen a lot of other drivers today. So the Mercedes driver has crashed his car, lost another left front. Odems, we were praising him, and Kian's going to be sitting there watching the stream with a big smile on his face, and Techno Thriller, I'm sure, will do the same. Dweller, of course, will be smiling as he comes back out on the intermediate tires. Jonas is up to 2nd place, only 1.5 behind, but Lemaine, the biggest story of today's race, Lemaine is out. Lemaine is out.
I was watching that. I was on board with Jonas and Lemaine. Oh my goodness, he just, again, Blanchimont is treacherous. It looks like an easy flat. It usually is an easy flat, but once you go on the outside curb, all mayhem breaks loose. Jonas is caught up to the back of, I don't think Dweller had a very good run out of Eau Rouge.
And also, Odems, the Bookster come in for the 2nd lap in a row. This time he's gone for inters, so he definitely felt those full wets weren't the right tire to be on. Spider Atlas and Jamie, the only two now on them. Look at Jonas. Jonas could win this race, Odems. Jonas could win this race.
He caught up to Dweller on that lap. Dweller had a terrible exit up Eau Rouge. Jonas caught up to him. Who knows? Dweller could make a mistake yet. Jonas has seemed very comfortable. I mean, so Lemaine seemed very comfortable as well, but we all know how that ended in the barrier. So who knows?
Lemaine would be absolutely kicking himself. He could have put one hand on that championship after today's race. But look at Dweller. Dweller now the man sitting in the prime seat. And although he's defending Odems, he scored good points last week. He won in Austria. Does he fancy himself as a late championship charge as we head into round 13 next week?
With all 3 of the drivers' candidates out, who knows? If he gets 25 points here, who knows? It's all looking up for Dweller at the moment. but he has to focus short term for the time being, because Jonas is looking solid. I'm on board with him, and he looks so composed in that car. I'm very impressed.
His teammate cheering him on, Razor, on the stream. I believe Razor's had a podium here in the past, and he wants his teammate to do one better. Jonas is really struggling. You're right. He's got understeer, and then he's got a bit of a poor exit. As he actually pulls a bit of a gap on Jonas, who's in standard res. Lukey's left the session. He's had enough of viewing this, but Jonas gains back up Eau Rouge. He's definitely got more confidence in the corners, does Jonas?
He went fully flat through there. He went fully flat. He took that perfectly. Dweller, I'm assuming, lifted quite a bit. And he gained all that time back. And Dweller misses the apex again.
And look at the curbs. Jonas is using the curbs. It doesn't seem to be affecting him like it's affecting some of the other cars. Jamie's in the pits. Presumably he's going to get rid of those full wets. He realizes it's not time. And the Bookster is now going to go past back up into 4th place. So let's have a little recap, shall we? Stops. 2 for Dweller, 2 for Jonas, 2 for Spider, 3 for the Bookster, 2 for Oz, 3 for Jamie, 3 for Empathy. So we have 9 drivers left in this session. We have 10th to 17th out of the race. That's Lemaine, Kev, Lukey, Maverick, Razor, Gaza, Matt Your Daddy, Kian, and Techno Thriller, who failed to make it to the grid. Odems, we've had drivers crash out in the opening sector. We've had drivers crash out in the final sector, and all of it has been from touching the curb on the outside and going straight into the inside curb and losing a wheel, usually the front left. So we know how difficult it is for these guys out there. And this is he goes wide. This is for the lead.
Very slow. There we go.
Jonas on the brakes, goes around the outside. He's going to have the inside to the next corner. He needs to make sure he slows it on the apex, gets a good exit. Is Dweller going to attack here into turn 1? Odems, calm down. Your heart rate's going to shoot up too high if you get too excited. Jonas goes down the inside. That's a late braking maneuver. He goes off. Can he keep it out the wall? He does. He keeps it out the wall just. He'll be able to compose himself. And with his pace, Odems, he'll be able to catch back up, I'm sure.
I imagine, yeah. Dweller just no confidence to Blanchimon whatsoever. Jonas is taking it as if it's dry, catches right back up to him. But I imagine Jonas just saw blood and he just went for the dive on Dweller there. That was, I feel for him there. I think he must have thought that was his opportunity to just pull ahead of Dweller.
That was pure adrenaline.
Just set his sights on the race win. But it's not over yet, is it?
That was pure adrenaline. You have to say that was a just you wouldn't, if he was a lap earlier, he wouldn't have done that move. But that was just pure adrenaline from the previous corner. And sometimes that's when it's pumping through, rage is pumping through, and you feel those 25 points up for grabs. You haven't won a race before. Just shows you how much it means to these guys. And Odems, F1 TS Hub, live on a Friday night, 7 and 9 p.m. This is the sort of stuff we love to bring to you guys. And if you fancy, if you like what you're seeing, first of all, subscribe, give us a like, follow us on Twitter. There'll be live race updates. I can't wait to see what the tweets are after this race, the highlights of this one, because the Twitter feed surely is going to be going mad. And we've got another round 13 next week in Monza. We've got the Pinnacle tier, who have yet to tackle this track, at 9 p.m. tonight, the quickest boys and gal. And Odems, we've got a waiting list. If you want to join, head over to the website, fill out the form, apply to race. We've got 5 drivers now on the waiting list. Another one joined earlier today, so we will try and get anyone who's there seated as quick as possible. At the moment we're full, but if we get a space, we will obviously endeavour to get you in. 1.8 now, the gap between first and second place. Jonas is trying to catch back up after that late braking manoeuvre into turn 1. He just gained 0.6 of a second in that final corner, and he just seems so confident in these conditions. I've never seen Jonas drive like this before. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. But then again, we were singing praises about Lemaine, weren't we? And he was an unfortunate victim of Blanchimon. But yeah, Jonas, Blanchimon, Puhan, all these corners with such ease. He's catching right back up as well.
Look at Empatix and Ali.
Yep, Spider off his pits as well. So
he's giving up on those
on the wet tires.
Wet tires,
it's getting visibly drier, isn't it?
Yeah, perhaps, I'm not sure. I think it stayed predominantly a little bit the same. We know Ali's got a couple penalties, as Emphatic just gets too much on the inside curb and almost spins it into the wall. Needs to be careful. Ali struggling with his car as well, but you have to say, all Ali needs to do is finish this race, and he's going to score, get a few points on the board, that's for sure. So Emphatic is going to come through on the inside now, as he is now. Oh, he's so treacherous. He just got on the curb, almost sent it to the inside wall, and here we are. We're going to watch him right on board with him as he goes through Blanchimont. Here we go. Doesn't hold it flat. Does it just okay though? So he survives another lap, as Jonas is still 2.6 seconds. So
Ali, oof. Ali went way too deep, hit the back of Emphatic, took his wing off.
He's coming into the pits. He needs
to the points.
Make sure he doesn't get. He's put his pit lane limiter on so early, and he's got a speeding in the pit lane. I'm not sure why he had his pit lane limiter on from the start of the pit lane. So I'm not sure what happened there. Unless it's yeah, it's still sped. That's a little bit strange. As we see the Mercedes put a front wing on top of a front wing. Well done, Codemasters, on that one. But there we are. We've got a few gaps now. Look at the Bookster, 47 seconds behind Jonas in second place.
Yeah.
Just shows you the top two. They've played the strategy right. They haven't made that many mistakes, only little ones, and that's what happens. The lead that they've got. And Ali gets a 5-second stop penalty for crossing the pit lane exit as he exits the pit. So his friend isn't in the pit lane today, that's for sure. Emphatic is 1.6 seconds to green.
He had a problem as well. He had the same problem in Hungary as well, but he just kept crossing the line on the pit lane. So he still has to get a few stuff worked out. But he still could get points yet, even better than the 2 points he's currently occupying right now. Was Jonas got a bit wide. Emphatic is now catching Greenfin, and Ols is picked.
So Ols comes into the pits, the other Haas driver, as we see Emphatic v Greenfin. Greenfin goes a little bit deep there. Emphatic gets a bit of a slide, but here we are heading into the final sector, I believe. Now Emphatic is going to try it down the inside. I wouldn't advise that. We've seen too many incidents where it's just not enough in these conditions to go side by side. Here we go into Blanchimont. It's going to prove difficult being that close to another car. He lifts off early and just gets a little bit of the curb, but keeps it together. And I think he's going to wait now for the main straight to try and size up Greenfin, who always brings a large fan base with him to the stream. So if any of Greenfin's fan base are watching, hello. Jonas 3.3 seconds now. Do you think he's going to be able to catch back up to Dweller? Lap 16 of 22 as Emphatic strides around the outside into the first corner. Greenfin, is he going to squeeze him? Greenfin politely gives him room, and Emphatic has a better traction to take 7th position.
It seems Jonas Dweller is finally settled into the race, and he's showing the pace that we all expect from him. I think that I still think the rain has gotten easier, so that could be a factor on it. But yeah, Dweller is now showing that if the front three are gone, then he should be without a doubt a candidate for the win. As Greenfin actually had his front wing damage, that's why he was going so slow, and Emphatic has already pulled 2 seconds on him.
Well, I'm riding on board with Jamie. He's doing a solid job in 5th position. He's going to be scoring some more solid points for his Toro Rosso team. And Spider Atlas in 4th position. The gap's been getting bigger to the Bookster. So the Bookster has been closing slightly on Jonas, but it's nowhere near going to be enough. He's going to have a lonely last few laps of the race. As Spider Atlas has left the session, what's happened there?
Oh dear, I think he might have disconnected. That's going to help the Bookster. I imagine that even though he's going to be lonely, he's going to prioritize getting a gap on Spider Atlas just in case a penalty comes his way.
Yeah, definitely that's something taken into consideration, of course. Spider Atlas, hopefully he can get back in. He's doing a solid job up to that point. Jamie won't mind though. Jamie will be smiling when he comes and sees a shadow of a Renault. 2.9 seconds. I don't like to be biased, Odens, but hands up if you want to see that gap get a little bit smaller before the end of this race.
My hands are most definitely up, just for the sake of sport. I'm sure but I wouldn't mind just slowing down a bit, letting Jonas catch up so we can have a titanic battle for the race win, which just seems to be up in the air at this point. Who knows? Someone could have a spin yet. I know the rain is supposed to ease up towards the end of the race, so the drivers will have some respite. But that's not what we want. We don't want our drivers to have a second of rest, do we?
Of course not. No, we expect nothing but an hour and 10 minutes of the hardest time possible. 3.5 seconds the gap up to. So as Jonas cuts the corner at Eau Rouge, perhaps he's struggling a little bit now. He was the first, I believe, to pit onto those inters to get the undercut. I believe he pitted the same lap as Lemaine, so they were the first two to make the second stop. Yeah, fantastic performance nevertheless from him to get himself up into second place. You can see Dweller in the distance there, but he's just not able to close. It looks like Dweller's definitely got more straight line speed, but Jonas is definitely more comfortable and his car is more suited to the middle section of the track where all the fast corners are.
Gets lapped. Ooh, Griffin gets lapped in not a very favourable way. He's gone so wide. They'll have to kind of go down the inside of Puhan.
Jonas went wide there at Puhan as well, so Griffin now gets out the way for Jonas as he realises he's being lapped. Just to note, Jamie has got ahead of Spider Atlas, so I don't think Spider Atlas is joined. He'll be joining and realising he's a position down from where he left, but at least he's in his car, and maybe that's going to be something a little bit exciting for us to have. Hopefully he can get back in. We're waiting. I'm riding on board now. He's still ghosting at the moment. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Can he get back in that Renault? Yellow flags in sectors 3. Yeah, sector 3. They've gone in now. So as Jonas is back in, not Jonas. Sorry. Yes, Spider Atlas is back in. So 6.5 seconds. It's going to be a big task to try and get Jamie back. Jamie won't mind. He'll be happy with 4th position. You've got Ols Odems, who's in 6th. He's doing a solid job for his Haas team today, and he can see Spider Atlas just in the distance there. So 3.1 seconds between the two of those. Emphatic's in 7th place. Greenfin in 8th. Ali's in 9th, still scoring some solid points. Alrighty, 4.3 seconds. It doesn't look like we're going to get our wish, but we can't take anything away from Dweller and his performance today.
Yeah, he's been great. Even when he was struggling under Lemaine, he didn't crack under the pressure. He didn't give up any a position to any of Dweller or any of Jonas or Lemaine, and it's been them who's made the mistakes trying to overtake him and trying to put the pressure on him. So very, very great drive from Dweller for sure.
3.8. Oh, Dweller gets so close to the wall there. So close. Yeah. So we've seen drivers in the past. I'm sure I myself has lost a wing or a tyre getting too close to that barrier. But it is difficult in these conditions, as we mentioned. The track's so greasy, and I definitely think you're right, Adams. The rain has lifted off a little bit. So whether it'll be dry enough to go onto dries, I don't think so. But Dweller looks like this lap's been a bit of a struggle for him. I've been riding on board with him. He does seem to be struggling with traction a little bit. 3.2 seconds the gap now. Jonas is going to curse his chance that he had perhaps earlier in the stint as Dweller touches the grass there, and Blanchimont, he hasn't looked comfortable all day. He's got to do it for another 3 laps after this one. In on Spider Atlas, 2.2 seconds now the gap between them. It was 3.3 when he rejoined, so Oz has got the pedal to the metal, as they say. 3.8 seconds the gap between the top two. Adams, you enjoyed this one?
I have, yeah. Even though I got kicked from the session a few times at the start, it's been such a hectic race. And with 9 drivers left, you'd expect a huge lean period. We haven't had that much of a lean period. We had Jonas battling for the lead of the race. Everything has been turned on its head for sure.
Ali's retired. Ali couldn't do it. Ali's binned it. Blanchimont claims another victim. this time on the outside. So there you go, another driver, Mercedes, both crash in the same place, so that team is down and out for round 12 in Spa. That is heartbreaking. He only had a couple laps left to go and he would have scored himself some points. Yellow flags in Sector 3 just shows you can't switch off for a minute, Odems.
Yep, it's one of those things where, like, you feel that, okay, I'm just gonna go slow, try and just keep it on the track, but the thing about the track like this, similar to Monaco, you have to be in a flow, so you can't just decide you want to go slow. You have to just be in a certain state of, you know, just a togetherness with the track, as weird as that sounds. And once you get out of that zone, it just becomes so difficult to keep the car on track, especially in these conditions. So, oh, that's heartbreaking for Ali. We only have 8 runners, wow.
Yeah, 8 runners left in the session. I think he might have
completed 90% of the, or 75% of the race, so he might still be classified as a point scorer.
Possibly, he's showing as a DNF, so, well, yeah, he was lapped as well. I don't know how, if he was lapped twice, he could still possibly actually score some points, so he'll be hoping he was lapped. It's 2.9 seconds now, the gap between the two, 2.6 Alls is to Spider Atlas. Those are the two battles we're watching. We know that Jonas has got absolutely everything on the cards right now. He's pushing, he's got a bit of fuel left in hand as well. Dweller doesn't have as much in his tank, but the gap just seems to dip under 3 and then just go straight back up in this first sector with that extra straight line speed that the Sauber has. Greenfin pits, Greenfin's into the pits.
Times, but on board with Dweller, he's not going wide in every corner. His back end is nice and tight. He's adapted to conditions well. It's gotten drier, which has definitely helped. Could it turn dry just before?
Ultra shots for Greenfin
just before the end of the race.
It's possible. I don't know how much he'll be able to gain because he's 35 seconds now off of Emphatic. So even if he does go quick, he's 54 seconds. He's just jumped up after that stop. So he's almost spun it on the exit of the pit. So Greenfin just giving us a bit of entertainment, I think, for the final. Excuse me. Also just got past Spider Atlas. Spider Atlas has lost a bit of his front wing. Left hand side of his front wing is gone. So it's definitely dry. It's definitely dry, Odem. So Spider Atlas is going to come into the pits now. I think he's going to get that wing change and fit some new tyres. Is this going to change anything between the top two? Is it going to help one and disadvantage the other? I don't know. Jonas is pushing with everything he's got as he goes all of the way on the curb and the AstroTurf. 3.2 seconds between the two. Spider Atlas in the pit now, down in 6th position. Will that help Emphatic or Greenfin at all? He's on the Ultra Soft, so he's choosing that strategy as well. Alls in a 5th position for his Haas team. Solid points at the moment. We are about to start the final lap of this race. Lap 22 out of 22 will begin as soon as that Sauber driver crosses that Pirelli board. There we go. It's lap 22, and 3 seconds. It doesn't look like it's going to happen today.
No, we're really not gonna happen for Jonas, but he can be very happy with his performance, as can Dweller. They've both been superb to, out of all the carnage, be so quick and consistent in this weather.
The Bookster as well, recovering to 3rd position after being, I believe, 14th place after his incident on Upper Rouge with Kian. So I'm sure there'll be some words exchanged in the steward's office later this weekend, and looking forward to seeing both drivers' view. I'm sure you'll be looking forward to seeing just our view of it, but yeah, it's been a chaotic race. As we said, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers retire from this race. Techno Thriller never made it to the grid after cutting out just before the start of the race, so it's not been a good day for some drivers. We've seen some championship contenders lose their wheels, lose their heads in these conditions, but Dweller, he is in 1st position. He's only got half a lap left to go. He's going to have to lap a car, I believe, as well, unless that's Greenfin who's quicker on his Ultra Softs. It looks like a Force India to me. Must be Emphatic. And yeah, 2 seconds though. 2 seconds.
Yeah, Dweller's rear end is getting a bit tail happy. Maybe his tires are going off.
DRS
Who knows?
enabled.
Maybe he could have a bit of a moment of blood spot and Jonas could just stick it down the inside. I doubt it. But
It's going
we
to be
can dream.
close. I'm sure Dweller's going to be feeling so nervous. I would be, you know. You've done everything you needed to do, and the gap's 1.5 seconds. Jonas is not giving up here. He just needs to take these final corners. We're going to ride on board with Dweller as he's going to come across the line. He's poor traction, so does he's weaving. He's happy. Dweller wins in Spa, the almighty Spa. Jonas takes second position, 1.4 off the lead. Absolute stunning performance from the McLaren driver. He wished for a podium in his interview, and he definitely got that for today's race. So in the chaos that Spa caused, Dweller comes out on top. Jonas follows closely behind, takes pure advantage of some mistakes.
Look at the gaps from Jonas to Bookster is 42 seconds, and from the Bookster to Jamie is 35 seconds. So yeah, the front two were just in a class of their own.
Yeah, definitely they mastered these conditions.
In terms of
Bookster's weaving, but you do feel it could have been a lot more exciting. Odems had he, you know, not decided to stick it side by side up Eau Rouge. Here comes Jamie now, 4th position. He'll be happy with that.
Yep, very happy with that. He's kept it clean as well. We haven't said much about him at all, have we? I don't think I've been on board with Jamie this entire race. He's had such a quiet one. Well, I say quiet. I don't think anyone really had a quiet race.
No, I think you could be right, but Jonas, second place. They're already getting saying they want to vote for him for driver of the day, and rightly deserved. Olbs in 5th position. I believe that's his career best F1 TS Hub. Yep. So well done to him. He's just behind Jamie as well, 1.5 seconds. So he closed up on the Toro Rosso driver. Spider Atlas, it's been a bit of a mixed day for him. You feel like it could have been a whole lot more, not just without his disconnection, but without a few mistakes, I think.
I reckon he would have taken 6th before the race started, though, to be fair.
Yeah. We've got Spider Atlas now across line 6, so we've just got Emphatic, green fin speed lap, so we won't need to wait for him to cross the line. Here comes the other Force India driver as he comes to cross the line and complete our drivers who have completed today's race. Wow, I can't wait to run through the order, and I won't try and summarize this one because it'd be too much to fit in before the Pinnacle tier at 9 PM. But we'll wait for the podium celebration. Odems, you're on at 9 o'clock in the Pinnacle tier. You expecting a little bit more than this?
I'll be hoping for a dry race. I'll be praying for a dry race because I do not want to go through what those drivers went through. That was not fun to drive, and I imagine, but it was a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race to watch and commentate on. They never let us down for a second, but when do they ever let us down, Odems? I feel like the Podium boys are always putting on a good show for us and our viewers. So here we are, confirmation. Got a couple penalties. Ali's got, wow, a whole load of penalties. He did count as a DNF, so he won't score points, but Dweller takes the win in 1st position, Jonas in 2nd, Bookster in 3rd, Jamie in 4th, Ols in 5th, excuse me, Spider Atlas in 6th, Emphatic in 7th, Green Fin in 8th. Those are all the drivers who finished. We've got more who DNF'd. Ali DNF'd, Lemaine DNF'd, Kev DNF'd, both Ferraris DNF'd, the other Williams of Kian DNF'd, and didn't quite catch the others because they were all computers and my mind can't process that quick enough. Odems, 8 drivers who finished the race. Some would say that's disappointing. We had a smile on our face.
Yeah, we did. There was action throughout. So much fun to watch. Yeah, the podium, as Lukey just said in the chat, the Pinnacle drivers have a lot to live up to. I'm not sure if we'll be able to, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you definitely do. So, speaking of Pinnacle, they're up next, the big boys and girl at 9 PM. We're expecting a busy grid as well, just like the Podium tier. So, thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you enjoyed that one. We definitely did. And we will see you very shortly, 9 PM, same channel. Next week we will be back in Monza for these guys at the Podium tier at 7 PM. So if you like what you saw and you want to come watch next week, then you can do exactly so at the same time. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at F1TS Hub and subscribe to us on YouTube. Odems, thank you for joining us, and good luck in tonight's race. And we will see you shortly. Peace out.